All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of our King's Quest II Romancing the Stones playthrough. Again, this is the... let me restore my game real quick. And... all right, here we go. So this is a playthrough of King's Quest II. This is a remake by AGD Interactive. They have done free remakes of the first 3 King's Quest games, and so far they've been really fun. I'm really excited to play because King's Quest was kind of a staple adventure game for me growing up. I have a very fond love of point-and-click adventure games. When I first played this way back when, it was all text. You used the keyboard to move Graham around. You used everything text to type in the actions that you wanted him to take, and so it's really exciting and nostalgic for me to replay the same game but in a different style now, with better graphics, with the voice acting and the whole deal. So it's very exciting for me. I'm looking to do like a playthrough of the entire King's Quest series, so I'm excited. Anyways, when we left off, we had met the kind of the ancient one, the face and voice and the stone, who told us, hey, you can get your heart's desire if you bring me the 3 gems, the air gem, the water gem, and the death gem. And so in the last episode, we spent our time getting the water gem from the mer people. That was it was pretty fun, actually. It was cute and fun and enjoyable. So anyways, now we're back in hopes of getting the air gem. Now, when we left off, it was morning time in the game, and so some of these shops were closed. At least this antique shop for sure was closed. And so hopefully it's new now and the shop is open, but I guess we'll see. Anyways, let's get started.
The clear sky adds to the scenic value of Kalima's small but open town.
All right. I'm glad they're open now.
Ah, dragonfire! Oh, no, wait. It's just a mounted dragon head. Whew. Apparently, this interesting-looking item is a Model DX cartridge retrieval unit. Quite a useful little device in another time and place. It is a red sorcerer's hat. It is a tiny harp. How cute! A strange cylindrical and slender container sits high upon the shelf. The markings on it read 7 Up. What on earth is that thing? Obviously, the Swiss haven't quite got the idea yet. You are inside a cute little antique shop. Old furniture and knickknacks clutter the place. Against the wall, a low bench displays an assortment of items. You are inside. A large and incredibly hefty-looking mallet is propped up against the shelf. A small engraving on its head reads, Broggy.
Oh. It's cute. It's a nod to Quest for Glory 1. Broggy was the mountain giant in that game who swung this big hammer over his head. That's really cute. And then this red hat is a nod to Simon the Sorcerer. This is also a nod to Quest for Glory. All right.
It is a crystal ball, fairly standard equipment for those of the magical persuasion. An expensive-looking statue catches your eye. It is sculpted of white marble and appears to be the only item of any real value within the shop. You find it quite odd that this grand statue is situated amongst other ordinary items of far less value.
All right, well, let's talk to the shopkeeper and see what she
Good
has to say.
afternoon. What can I do for you, dear?
Hello. Do you sell anything that would aid in ascent up a mountain?
Unfortunately, I do not sell climbing equipment, or anything of that sort. This is really a specialist store.
Oh.
However, I do have an item which you might find useful. This lamp is said to contain a genie. Never tried it myself, of course. I do not believe in using magic to solve my problems. Nature has made us as we are, and we should be glad of that.
Uh-huh. How much for the lamp?
The old lady hesitates. You sense she wants more from you than your money. You hope it is not anything that you will regret.
Well, seeing as how you are a man who seems adept at taking care of himself, perhaps you could do a small favor for me?
Somehow, you knew she was going to say that.
I once owned a beautiful nightingale, quite rare around here. But the sentimental value far outweighs its monetary worth. That foul old witch Hagatha has stolen it from me, probably to use in some concoction or another.
Her nose screws up in disgust.
So, if you could be a sweetie and retrieve it for me, I will trade you. The lamp for the bird. Agreed?
Well, I will see what I can do.
Do be careful. If Hagatha should spot you out of her good eye, then you'll be in for it.
You have nothing more to say at this time. The little old lady is tiny, with twinkling blue eyes. Her white hair is done up in a neat bun on top of her head. She appears at first to be in her 60s. Then you notice the sheer quantity of makeup plastered on her face and decide that she may well be older than that. You couldn't even move it, let alone lift it. You know better than to poke around inside a lady's private domain, or in this case, a woman's private domain.
Okay, well,
The horse doesn't belong to you, Graham. Just leave it be.
I guess we need to go take care of Hagatha. That's going to be an interesting issue. I don't recall what to do. I mean, I have an idea, but...
You knock loudly on the door. There's no response.
Yes?
Could you recommend another good book?
There!
The librarian has placed the book on the desk for you to read. Thoughtful, isn't she? This book is entitled Legends. Browsing through it, you notice an interesting excerpt.
Daventry's first king, known to many as Legitimor, is as much as of enigma of history as he is woven into the fabric of legend itself. Though his passing occurred nearly 1,000 years ago, it remains somewhat unclear as to the manner of his death and what became of the power he wielded. Historians do know that Legitimor was a powerful magician or a wizard, as he might be called nowadays. He is largely credited with bringing, along with his kind, magic and civility to Daventry and the surrounding world. According to legend, during what was arguably the bloodiest war Daventry has ever seen, Legitimor sought to commit his awesome power to the cosmos. It is believed that he blamed himself for the extent of the Grand War, in particular the magic that had been used to exacerbate the death toll. He therefore chose to render himself mortal, an action that would prove to be his last. However, legend would also suggest that his power may be attainable, if only one were to perceive and understand how and when. This is evidenced by a parchment located just a few centuries ago and dated 30 years after the first king's death. If seeketh you the power of Legitimor, thou shalt be well appraised. It will not be an easy task. From the path thou may be swayed. For in great Daventry lies the means for which it may be found, belonging to one who rules the land, by one who wears the crown. From the circle nature springs. From well thoughts the sown, through woe betide, the unjust thief who claims it for his own. In this great land, 'tis known to rest the corpse of Legitimor, who died defending his home turf in the longest, fiercest war. His great mistake, which sealed his fate, he cast his magic aside, up high into the heavens, which forever stretched wide. But the search may be rewarding, for the seeker of this power As its apex soon approaches, when cometh the darkest hour, hark, spy sun and moon and planets, as all of them align, the one prepared for the ascension will surely see the sign. Power thus can be granted to just one from this great tool. If one be thee, then thou shalt be the everlasting jewel. The first king's brother, Morgillin, was also presumed killed in the Grand War. Legitimator's loyal first knight and successor, Grand Thithor, ruled over the realm for nearly 50 years. He sired a number of children who either remained to guarantee the continuation of the royal bloodline or set forth to build kingdoms of their own. Okay.
Yes?
Could you recommend another good book?
Oh, did I just read that for no reason? Are you serious?
There!
This book is entitled Power, Politics, and Pulpits. Browsing through it, you notice an interesting excerpt.
Oh, no. No, I don't want to read this.
You have nothing else to say at the moment. The librarian has... This book is in...
Oh, come on.
You would not...
All right, well...
Maybe you should do something to help the occupant. The haystack, or...
We don't know how to help him yet either. Alright, so we need to go handle Hagatha. I don't think there's anything else that I'm missing at the moment. It's certainly possible.
You attempt to open the door, but find it is locked. You think you can hear the sound of labored breathing inside, and decide against causing any further disturbance.
Can we look through the keyhole or anything?
The door of the little...
Alright, never mind. You know it's like the big bad wolf in there. I swear in the original game from the 80s you had to do something, but maybe there's nothing to do here.
You have run into an evil enchanter. Unless you are mistaken, the symbol above the cave entrance bears a striking similarity to a bat. A shiver runs down your spine as you look at it. It's almost as if some dark force were radiating from it.
Okay, so last time, when we get too close, it starts to glow. Yeah, see, when it starts to glow and then we try to go in, we die.
You saw black glow.
So...
As you face the skull towards the image of the bat above the cave, you notice that its wing has faded slightly. However, you suspect that whatever danger the bat represents is still in effect.
I didn't know that was going to happen.
A searing beam of blue light streams from the skull's eye socket and concentrates itself on the bat symbol above the cave entrance. The skull looks like it is designed to be pivoted on its stake. However, there appears to be something missing which prevents you from turning it.
Okay, but that one worked. Do I have anything that would help me pivot it? Candle? No. Hammer? No. Sword? I don't know why that would work, but...
Brandishing your sword might make you appear an accomplished fighter, but you will not make many friends by being careless with it. Besides, it's valuable. Take care of it. You have a terribly strong feeling that you really don't want to play with those sticks. This skull is facing in the right position. You need not turn it back around. The skull looks like it is designed to be pivoted. You have a terrible... You saw black glow.
Okay, something to pivot.
You can't... That has no... That has no... Smashing this skull would be pointless. You decide to rethink your course of action. That has... As you attempt to place the birth gem into the skull, you discover that it does not fit properly. Instead, it juts out uselessly like a bulging eyeball. You take the birth gem.
Remember, this one only had one eye. What if we put it in this one?
This skull already has a glowing blue gem.
Oh.
As you attempt to place the birth gem into the... You have a terribly... You take the birth gem.
Oh, okay. I'm missing something there. What do we use? Oh, I gotta fix the camera real quick. What do we use? There we go. To pivot the skull. Like...
There's nothing else under the log. You get a... You have no desire to pick flowers.
I don't think there's anything like sitting around, right?
You get a feel. You can't take the rock. You have no... The rope is old. The crate... You could walk onto the pier and you can walk off again. That about sums up the extent of its usefulness.
This tree bugs me. It just looks like we could do something with it. All right. There's nothing over there.
Bushes abound in the forest. You push the bush. You push.
Hey, maybe the church is open. Oh, it's not open until nighttime, huh?
The door appears to be barred from the inside. The church must not be open at this time.
That's right. The flyer said only nighttime.
The haystack, or rather whoever or whatever is inside it, is no longer responsive to your inquiries.
Do you have the nightingale?
Well, no.
Once you have the nightingale, bring it to me, and I will trade you for the lamp. Do you have the nightingale?
Well,
Once.
Angelina is not interested in that.
She probably doesn't want any of this stuff. All right. Oh, I know what that's for.
Angelina. Once you have retrieved the nightingale, Angelina will trade you for the lamp. If you thought that you needed a shield, you would have brought along your virtually indestructible magical shield from home.
All right.
You are not too fond of axes, preferring your own sword as a means of defense. You have not. This book is entitled Removing the quill without any immediate purpose might cause the librarian to notice that it is missing. There is no reason to show the librarian your card again. You're already a member. A large grandfather clock sits against the wall. It seems to keep good time. The clock indicates that it is afternoon. You have entered the town.
Maybe the pumpkin can give me a clue.
You've already helped the pumpkin, and the mother wants to spend time with her children. Best to concentrate on your quest. You do not wish to disturb. The small pond is a beautiful feature. This water doesn't look clean enough to drink. You look under the log, but find nothing. It was a good idea, though. As it is heavier, denser, and larger, it would be fun, though you feel a sense of unease from the area. You are past picking up rocks. Besides, there is no treasure-hoarding giant in these parts, though you feel it. This skull is facing.
Okay, so, like...
That has... Throwing that away. This skull already has a glowing blue gem. As you attempt to place the birth gem into the skull, you discover that it does not fit properly. Instead, it juts out uselessly like a bulging eyeball.
Okay, so pound it in. Oh, that worked.
You gently tap the birth gem with the mallet, hoping not to break it. It budges only slightly. You give it a harder hit. It moves a bit more. You hold your breath and give the gem an almighty thwack. It pops into the skull.
Well, what do you know?
With the birth gem now firmly in place, you turn the leftmost skull so that it faces the bat symbol above the cave entrance. The power of the two skulls combined has caused the bat symbol to disappear. You sense whatever danger it represented has now subsided.
Okay. I hope that I can get it back.
As you enter, you are almost overwhelmed by the foul stench which molests your nostrils. It is obviously coming from whatever Hagatha is cooking in that large cauldron of hers. There are some things of interest on the other side of the cave, but you have no means of crossing over there safely at this time. A caged nightingale sits on the floor near the northern cave wall. The light from outside barely penetrates the interior of this cave. So long as you keep your distance, Hagatha shouldn't notice you. It is a crystal ball, fairly standard equipment for those of the magical persuasion. Large, heavy logs have been piled near the workbench. Obviously, they are used to fuel the insatiable fire. A glass dome, semi-spherical in shape, sits on the table. It reminds you of a shakeable snow dome toy that you once owned as a child. A simple but elegant black cloak hangs on a stand. You hear Hagatha begin a chant of some kind while stirring her brew.
The fluid of blood with bone and flesh. 'Twill make my complexion young and fresh.
The mallet is too cumbersome to make an effective weapon. When it comes to might versus magic, all bets are on the latter.
Inducing time to reverse its sail.
To your horror, you realize that your attempted push the witch into the cauldron strategy has achieved nothing more than garnering her undivided attention.
Well, you are the gentleman, saving me a lot of trouble by coming here.
Uh-oh.
Did you really think that tactic was going to work a second time?
So in the first King's Quest game, that's how you kill the witch. I push her into her own cauldron.
You hear Hagatha begin a chant of some kind while stirring her brew.
The fluid of blood with bone and flesh.
Being as quiet as a mouse, you slide your hand inside the cloak to discover a deep pocket. Amongst sticky and disgusting spell ingredients, you find a tiny silver key and a peculiar golden ring-shaped device.
'Twill make my
There is nothing
complexion
else inside the
young
cloak
and
except for
fresh.
disgusting spell ingredients, none of which you want.
Okay.
This odd circular device intrigues you. It depicts several different symbols around its outer rim. The sun, a mountain range, a drop of water, and a cloud. The key would fit a small lock. You need to get closer.
Inducing time to reverse its sail.
You silently drop the cloth over the cage.
All I need
Upon
is a
attempting to
sweet
lift the birdcage, you
nightingale.
notice that it is attached to a thick chain and bound by a small lock. Obviously, you can't take the cage while it's still chained to the wall. You slide the silver key into the lock. It fits. You turn it silently, and the chain falls to the ground. Without making a sound, you take the nightingale into your possession. Uh-oh, Hagatha has seen you.
Well, you are the gentleman, saving me a
Do
lot
we
of trouble
just take
by
too
coming
long?
here.
You wandered into the witch's lair. You need to get
The fluid
Being
of
is-
blood with bone and flesh.
you. s-
Twill make my
You slide the
complexion
silk
young and fresh,
without.
inducing
Don't
time
leave the bird.
to reverse its sail.
You cannot remove the birth gem while the blue light is streaming from it. If you want to dislodge it, you'll have to use force. You strike the skull with all your strength, and it shatters easily. The birth gem clatters to the ground, along with a multitude of bone fragments. You reacquire the birth gem. You have no desire.
Okay. Well, I'm going to save this as a different file. I don't know if there was anything else in there that we were supposed to do. In fact, let me... Is... Like...
Uh-oh.
Oh, come on now.
Well, you are the gentleman, saving me a lot of trouble by coming here.
How is it that I
You
can
wandered
walk...
into the witch's lair, and where you stood gave...
How is it that I could walk right in front of her?
The fluid of blood,
Uh-oh.
bone and flesh.
All right.
Well, you are the gentleman, saving me a lot of trouble by coming here.
You wandered into the witch's lair, and where you stood...
Can I take the snow globe?
Unfortunately, you are not versed in the skills for operating one of these. Attempting to take the dome seems like an unnecessary risk. Are you sure you really want to try this? Uh-oh.
Well, you are the gentleman, saving me a lot of trouble by coming here.
You wandered into the witch's lair, and where you stood gave... and disturb a long...
All right, never mind. I was hoping that we could, like, actually... I don't know. There seemed like that stuff, you know, we should take it and do something with it. I'll have to check later.
I have acquired your nightingale.
You have? Then please give it to me.
You offer the nightingale to Angelina. The sheer elation on her face almost makes the whole risk worth the while. She snatches it from you and proceeds to fuss over the bird. You wait for a moment, but it seems she no longer notices you.
If you don't mind, about the lamp you promised me in trade for the nightingale?
The shopkeeper looks up at you vaguely. She gradually remembers that there is another being in her world.
Yes? Oh, yes, take it. You'll have no beginning of use with it.
Don't you mean no end of use?
Of course. Whatever you say, dear.
You hear Angelina muttering cheerfully to herself as she exits.
Finally, I have the final ingredient for that marvelous youth potion. I'm going to beat you to the punch, my dear Hagatha. Serves you right for hoarding this sweet, juicy thing to yourself.
You feel a nauseous tinge in your stomach. Well, at least the lamp is now yours. You take the old lamp. You are inside, placing your grubby hands all over. You've never needed one of these. You can figure out which way the wind is coming from all by yourself. If you thought that you needed a shield, when you retire and begin building life-size model ships as a hobby, then you will become interested in acquiring things like that. You don't need it. Your fingers wouldn't do the instrument justice. This knife is too big. It would damage more than just your pocket. Placing your grubby... You suspect the reason why the proprietor placing your... There's not placing your... You have... The oil lamp is fashioned of brass and has been tarnished. There's a spout at one end and a round handle at the other. The lamp is empty inside.
Well, if it's tarnished, shouldn't we polish it?
There's no need to use the cloth on the lamp.
Okay.
You rub the lamp and wait expectantly, but nothing happens. You're about to give it another try when a small puff of smoke appears at the end of the spout. It clears, revealing a note. As you remove it, the lamp disappears. You read the scroll.
To the unlucky fool who bought this lamp, as you may have gathered, this lamp no longer contains a fabulous genie, as my former master, praise him in his greatness, has released me with his final fish. However, as a consolation, please be advised of the following. The shopkeeper is not to be trusted. She dabbles in the black arts and keeps rather distasteful company. May these words reveal what lies beneath, and may your findings lead you to a higher position in life. So hard like a stone and white like the snow stands silent the man who guards what's below. May you forever know the beauty of freedom. Signed, Nibor Simawil, Genie. So hard like a stone and white like the snow stands silent the man who guards what's below. Yeah, okay. I mean, kind of sounds like this guy, right?
You examine the statue up close. Aha! There is a hidden latch on it. You flick the latch. A trapdoor opens up in the floor.
What?
If you wish to close the trapdoor...
No, let's go down. No, come on. Thank you.
You close the trapdoor behind you. You see a letter on the desk. You read the letter sitting on the desk.
Angelina, once again, I put to you an invitation to join our illustrious community. Unsurprisingly, you have heard of its reputation through other channels. I personally encourage you to give it serious thought. We are not only interested in a new membership from the mages of this world, this invitation goes out to all who believe that when the appointed time comes, only the faithful will be rewarded. The rest of those poor unenlightened fools will perish. All that is asked in return is to complete allegiance to the Father. He has guided us from the beginning, and his power is far older than most. I know you are hesitant due to concerns regarding the dress code. Let me assure you that black would look simply charming on you, dear. My gratitude goes out to you for your flattering assertion that I would make a fine ruler of Kalima. What a shame that the former ruler has lost all interest in his homeland. I cannot blame him, however. The change struck him quite hard. To answer your earlier question, yes, I have acquired a nightingale. They are most uncommon in this region, and yes, I am quite sure that it is the final ingredient required to complete my youth potion. As much as I would like to share it with you, I'm afraid that a single nightingale will provide only enough solution for one person. In any event, I shall of course pay you a visit the moment the youth potion takes effect. H. Interesting. Right. Well, let's save on a different file just in case we die.
There is a soft pile of down and dust. A beam of light filters through from a crack in the floorboards above. Several large items have been covered with cloth A tangled mass of jewelry and chains have been dumped into boxes and pushed up against the back wall. Several barrels are... You see a colorful rolled-up carpet. This is a secret room located directly beneath the antique shop. Obviously, the proprietor uses this room as a storage area for her worthless wares, although there may be something of value down here. A large double-bladed broadsword leans against the bench. It looks like an expensive antique.
What are the chances the carpet is like a magic carpet? Flying carpet?
You'd better not move anything down here. Someone might hear you. As you pick up the carpet, you notice a small label which reads, "Property of Al Den." There might be a faded letter or two in there, but you cannot be sure. Above you, from the back room, you discern Angelina's voice.
I did it! I did it! The youth potion is finally finished. All I need to do now is drink it.
Angelina, show yourself, you scurvy wench.
Hagatha? My dear! What an unexpected surprise!
Don't you play the fool with me. I know you stole it.
Stole? Really, I do not know.
Silence. For your lies and deceit, there can be only one consequence.
No, please. I can explain.
I said silence. Oh, and one more thing. Your invitation to join us is revoked. What is this? Ah, the youth potion at last. Oh no! Drat! Now what was that spell for removing floorboards? Curses! I shall have to go back and look it up.
A beam of... You fish around in the pile of down and successfully retrieve the youth potion. You'd better not move. You'd better not. The room has
like, if we go up there, is she still gonna be there?
Cautiously, you open the trapdoor ever so slightly and peer into the room above. Hagatha is nowhere to be seen. You make your exit from the basement. You flick the latch. The trapdoor closes and conceals itself into the floorboards once more. You have no desire.
The heck am I going to do with a youth potion?
You think that this vial contains the potion of youth. This odd circular device intrigues you. It depicts several different symbols around its outer rim: the sun, a mountain range, a drop of water, and a cloud.
I assume that we're going to have to use the flying carpet at the base of the mountain, right? I think. I guess, I mean, let's go check it out.
You unroll the magic carpet, lay it on the ground, and sit on it. The carpet begins to rise skyward. As you ascend higher, you realize that the carpet is beyond your control. It glides through the air on a seemingly predetermined course.
I wonder if we could have used it from anywhere, or if it needed to be used from that location and we just got lucky. Okay.
A snake blocks your path to the east. It appears to be about 10 feet long and is coiled up, ready to strike.
Okay.
The snake only communicates in hisses.
Okay.
The snake does not care about your possessions.
No, but how do we scare it away? Could I throw this thing
The
over?
snake does not...
I mean, I don't want to fight it, right?
The snake... You could simply kill the snake, but something about its presence up here is a little strange.
Yeah, well...
The snake... The snake lashes out, striking with precision. Its lethal venom kills you instantly. Your history. The plateau is a natural lofty outcropping from this mountain. There are a few pine and fir trees on this mountaintop. The plateau is There's a rock up here. Fancy that. A snake blocks your path to the east. It appears to be about 10 feet long and is coiled up, ready to strike.
Okay. I don't recall what are we supposed to do with this snake. Oh.
You have just discovered the gravity of your situation.
Good grief. All right.
A snake. The snake only... You bravely approach... The snake... Your hiss... The snake...
I mean, what do you...
The snake... The snake... It would be too dangerous to use the... You unroll the magic carpet, lay it on the ground, and sit on it. The carpet rises into the air again. The carpet begins to descend.
Okay. All right, so, like, I need something to deal with the snake, right? Like, something to poke it with, or push it with, or a magic potion, or I don't know.
Maybe you should do...
Can I use the age potion on that thing?
There's no need...
I have a sneezing potion. And what the heck is this thing?
You have nothing. This book...
That book was about the church.
You do not want to go back in there. You never know when Hagatha might return to continue her search. Repressing the urge to burst... The sign reads, Town. There's no need to realign the sign. It's fine.
Ha ha ha. All right.
Don't... You unroll the magic.
Oh, so can I just fly it from anywhere? That's kind of cool. All right. Can I poke it with this?
The snake.
I'm not trying to give it anything.
The snake. The snake. You could simply kill the snake, but something about its presence up here is a little strange.
Okay, so is it like an enchanted snake? But I don't... Alright, I must be missing something. I guess we'll...
You unroll the magic carpet, lay it on the ground, and sit on it. The carpet rises into the air again. The carpet begins to descend. You rap on the treehouse door and wait a moment, but get no response.
And he still doesn't want the rope?
You don't need the rope. You peer into the log, but see nothing of interest. You peer into... It would be fun.
I'm gonna just go back to Hagatha's, like... Alright, well...
You saw black glow. The skull is now stuck in place and cannot be turned. This skull already... There's no reason to use...
Alrighty, well I'm a little stuck and it's been almost an hour, so let's just gonna save it here and call this a day, and we will continue on in a later episode. Thank you for joining me.